And we're back now with the former head of both the National Security Agency and the CIA, General Michael Hayden. General, thanks for coming. I'll just ask you the question. Did you spy on Angela Merkel?
Well, I can't comment on any specific activities, but leadership intentions were a very high intelligence priority for the life of the National Security Agency. It's nothing special, and it's certainly nothing new.
Could it be possible that the president didn't know about it if we were listening in on her cell phone?
I take the president's statement at face value, and I can actually imagine circumstances, Bob, where he wouldn't. It's impossible for me to imagine that the NSC, the administration, the White House didn't know. And the fact that they didn't rush in to tell the president this was going on points out what I think is a fundamental fact.
And that is?
This wasn't exceptional. This is what we were expected to do.
Well, let me ask you this. If we stop spying on Angela Merkel, do you think that the Chinese and the Russians will also stand down their efforts?
No, I don't think so. And I know the chancellor's embarrassed, and we're a friend, and this revelation has put her in a very difficult political spot. But, Bob, frankly, in the world of espionage, the fact that the United States may have been intercepting her text messages is the least of their espionage worries in Berlin right now.
Are they spying on us?
Who, the Germans? Mm-hmm. I would just assume that almost all other nations in the world conduct espionage, and what we do as a prudent measure is defend ourselves. Remember, we had a grand debate about President Obama's BlackBerry. The most powerful man in the most powerful country on earth in his national capital was told, don't use your BlackBerry. There are a lot of intelligence services out there who are going to try to intercept it.
The Germans seem to think that Edward Snowden should be brought back to this country, or either that or taken to Germany and given a chance to help investigate the National Security Agency. What's your reaction to that?
Well, first of all, I would welcome Edward Snowden being brought back to this country. But I know one German parliamentarian is suggesting that Germany give Mr. Snowden a platform from which he could reveal even more American secrets. And my view on that would kind of tend to moot the whole debate here about whether or not we're spying on a friend.
I take it you do not, and I've asked you this question before, if you thought he was a hero. I believe you said you thought he was a defector.
Yes.
How much harm, or do you think that there has been harm to not just our intelligence gathering, but also our influence by these revelations?
Absolutely, Bob. Look, I understand the situation in Germany now and that the chancellor is embarrassed, all right? But let's assume that this was discovered not through press accounts, but through German counterintelligence. The last thing the Germans would have done would to have made this public. They would have come to us privately, and we would have solved this problem. What this has done has destroyed, threatened important relationships we have.
General, I'm sorry, but we have to leave it there.
Thanks
so much. We'll be back in a moment. I'll have some personal thoughts.